Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Time to shut them up. Those are the words of Joseph Parker in some recent social media. I've actually been really pleased to see Joseph Parker and team continue to capitalise on his recent exposure from the UK trip. That's keeping his name out there. I'll come to some of that coverage in a moment. There's often a danger when fighters go into camp like Parker has that things go dark. You barely hear from them for weeks. Then all of a sudden, they pop out of the woodwork 2 weeks before the fight to help sell the fight. I'm not really sure that fighters can really get away with that at the top level anymore. And these days of shortened news cycles, the increasing juggernaut that is social media, that includes YouTube, and fans' need for instant gratification, dropping off the mat for weeks is not only ill advised, but potentially damaging to a boxer's brand. As we know, boxing fans, in particular casual fans, they're fickle at the best of times, dip in, dip out of boxing, and following certain fighters at the drop of a hat. You disappear for 2 months for training camp, you're taking your sort of fan base in your hands. It's a massive gamble. So anyone who has listened to some of my earlier Parker videos know that I'm a Joseph Parker fan, but I do think that his profile is not where it should be. That for an athlete of his standing, his social media presence in particular is patchy at best. That's probably been kind, actually. Yeah, I don't want to relitigate my thoughts on his profile in the comment section again because I've covered it off in depth in other videos. But for some context, his low profile, in my view, is partly explained by the fact he's been fighting in the Southern Hemisphere, away from the eyes of boxing fans. And two, he's been a little bit scratchy in the past couple of fights. Let's face it, if you've been hyped up for most of your career as being a certain type of fighter, and then you change your styles up a bit and eke out a close or lackluster points decision win, it's not going to win you many new fans beyond hardcore boxing fans who appreciate that stuff, being able to demonstrate that you're versatile and they box off the back foot. So let's fast forward to some recent events. It's fair to say that JP's UK trip was a roaring success in terms of profile. Lots of column inches on boxing sites, covered extensively by boxing channels on YouTube and other social media platforms, which you shouldn't underestimate this in terms of reach. And of course, it was also given some cursory coverage, maybe a bit more here in New Zealand, by the mainstream media. In the space of a week, Parker brushed shoulders with the Furies, David Haye, Tony Bellew, Dillian White, and Eddie Hearn. Not a bad week at all. So, pleasingly, in the week since Parker and his team left the UK, they've kept the ball rolling. So, let's start with social media. Hallelujah. Parker's social media presence hasn't lain idle as it so often does. Here's a clip from his camp. Those body shots are nice. I guess we're going to see in this upcoming fight with Hughie Fury, which is for Parker's title, on September 23rd in Manchester. We're going to see whether Hughie Fury he can take Parker's power, especially to the body, or if he's made of candle wax. We don't really know. I think Hughie Fury is a bit of a wild card. Not really quite sure who he is right now, but we'll certainly get an indication on the night. And you also notice that Parker, he was looking dialed in. And that's perhaps amplified by this next clip that also went up this week.
And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it bad.
Perhaps a little over the top with the voiceover, but hey, a post that I really, really liked, and it spoke volumes, is the one that accompanied this photo that's up now. And Parker said, every round counts. Time to shut them up. Let's face it, there's been plenty of boxing fans who've written Joseph Parker off in recent months following the Razvan Kajanu performance. He's not immune to the criticism. He would have been hearing people saying that he's the weakest champion, he's food for the top heavyweights, and all sorts of other things that sort of have cropped up and come out of the woodwork. I really hope that he uses it as fire and we see the best version of Joseph Parker come September 23rd against Hughie Fury. I also hope we see the best version of Hughie Fury. I want to see a good fight. No, wait, I want to see a great fight. And I don't want to hear any excuses from either of them afterwards. Best man wins. There's also been some other good press this week for JP, but one in particular I thought I'd touch on. So Parker was interviewed by Sport 360, and some excerpts of this have since popped up on boxingscene.com. So go check it out, where Parker addresses his profile and other issues. These other guys, they're fighting on that side of the world with all the exposure they get. New Zealanders got a small population to compare, and for us to already have a world champion and to now start fighting, it's a good step for us. It's great to be a world champion, to achieve that goal that I set at a young age. But now I want to go on to do more, to create my own legacy. People don't know me, but that's all right. Hopefully they will soon. I want to show skills, bring excitement, pressure, be the fighter that everyone will remember. This is my chance in the UK to show what I can do. So Parker, he then went on to add, I back myself to beat anyone. I don't fear anyone. I will fight anyone. The focus is, of course, Hughie now, and after that, we will sit down and look to fight the other best fighters in the world. I really like where Parker's mindset is at. I really do. You can tell he is dialed in. And as we know, boxing, well, the mental side of the game is a big part of it. He is dialed in, and he knows he's got a lot to prove in the Fury fight, and that a lot is riding on it. I love to also hear him saying, I don't fear anyone and will fight anyone. He backs himself to beat anyone. The next fight will be a good barometer of that. So what do you think? If you were to throw him in against Joshua, Wilder, or Ortiz, for example, how would he fare right now? Could he beat any of them? Is he really underrated? Is the profile thing such that if you threw him in against them, he'd really surprise or shock one of them, or all of them? Let me know in the comment section what you think. One thing for sure, Parker is going to be ready come fight night, September 23rd. That's it from me. Hit like and subscribe. I'm out.